Hey Alex, video stream is closed. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yeah, we could see.
Yeah, I like that. Hourly, I have a level at 24,580, 25 downside. No, we might bounce from there if we do. If not, then we might sell off. Well, it all depends on the news, though. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, Microsoft gap down as well. It's actually kind of flat. It's gonna be opening right around where we closed on Friday, so actually that's kind of okay. Weekly imbalance is still getting held up here with the GP here as well. So the structure hasn't changed. I actually still like this name to get bought here. A little bit more upside, I want to say. It's a pretty nice area for me, I think. 200 EMA, imbalance, golden pocket 78.6. It's kind of a decent area to hold. Google here. Kind of looks like it wants to set up in a head and shoulders here, actually. Maybe on a weekly. Left shoulder, head right here, and then we're kind of still setting up in the right shoulder right now. Doesn't look terrible. Oh, actually, no, it does look pretty good. On the daily, anyways. Left shoulder, head. Now we're sort of setting up in the right shoulder a little bit. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. For gap down here, we had a daily structure. Lower high right here. closed at the high, or at technically the lower high on Friday, and now we're gapped down, which makes sense as we open, or we closed right at resistance if we wanted this structure to continue. So gap down into 301, 300 area, so back down to these lows. Yeah, this could actually probably break down. So below 300 actually would be our breakdown level. Below 300, we look for target 1 as this liquidity, 296, and then I honestly like it down to 289, or around this area over here, 285. It looks kind of decent there. That'd be my downside target for Google. Below 300. Yeah, looks good. Looks very weak, I'll say that. Alright, Nvidia here. Gap down to 174. We had that head and shoulders that actually was kind of in structure here. So this is actually us breaking down from that head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. Lost the trend line here. We're sitting at 174 right now, so technically still at support, but we have some nice areas of liquidity down at like 169. Yeah, 169 to 170 is actually kind of a nice area for some more downside targets. Yeah, we're not down too much from here actually, but I like the 200 EMA, 172, and then yeah, run liquidity at 169. I think that still makes sense to me. So we'll probably look for that, actually. Probably will look for that. And I guess we'll just see what we get at the open today. Because alright. 1 minute to the open. We do have news today, I think, right? Yeah. So ISM, PMI 945. We'll probably wait for 10. I wanted to wait today anyways, only because I want to see what price action is going to look like to start the day. I want to say we're going to size down this week, or maybe today or something like that. Not really sure yet. But I think that's probably what we're going to be doing. And there's the bell. There's the bell. $24,600 we're opening at here. Like I said, I'm still gonna watch that kind of H setup that we're sitting in right now, I guess. As we are rejecting VWAP right now, at least on the bigger time frame. But yeah, let's give it some time, get a volatility gauge, and then figure out our sizing for the day. Guys, Netflix is almost at TP1. I think we had targets of 100, right? Something like that. You should look into that. Actually, I would actually kind of like to sell this. That was a pretty quick move. Yeah, I'm gonna look for $100 here on Netflix. CVX almost at 200. We're kind of filled the gap already, actually. Had a bit of a pop. We got some buying in. Buying coming in. Just about across, yeah, about across the whole board here. Previous low they tap here, I think on Qs. So opening candle so far is almost 200 points. It's not even fully done yet, but so far 200 points off the opening candle. That's kind of a lot already. Although it does make sense, so let's not gauge it off this candle per se. Should give it some more time. But yeah, I would definitely want to be careful this week, for sure. Wow, this thing is moving. $250 points from the low. Over 250 points from the low, actually. No, right around 250 points from the low. This is a very big candle. So
Yeah, I was going to mention CVD is quite high, and then if on the 1 minute, then on the 5 minute, higher highs and higher lows
yeah, that's expected.
on the
That's
CVD.
expected. Yeah, off the opening candle, it's gonna be pretty aggressive here session, and then yeah, tickers look good right now. Everything's getting kind of bought after that little push lower. Where's our gap fill at? Oh wait, did we fill the gap already? Not quite. 24,941 is gonna be our gap fill. 24,941 gap fill for upside target. We should have more room here, I think. Yeah, we need about 100 more points until we get that gap fill. I wouldn't say that's pretty close, but I mean, maybe with this volatility, it's close. Might come a lot sooner than expected. Still pushing here. Yeah, so 30 points is going to look like absolutely nothing today. So,
No,
most
it's just looking
likely,
at the same thing.
yeah, we're probably going to need to double our stop. So, yeah, we definitely will be dropping size down to at least half, I think. Probably going to need to run 40 to 45 points, I think. Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I would like to run stops just based on structure, but I know that's going to be too much points of risk. Probably, yeah. I would definitely do 3 if you're running 6. For those that are running 3 right now, or 3 or 4, it's kind of hard to tell. I almost want to just say, like, run 1, but I know 1 might be a little too low, so maybe just do 2 if you're trading 3M and Q. If you're trading 3M and Q already, I mean, you're already pretty low size, but, yeah, it might throw off your net P&L based on the volatility. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, but we had the opening candle close above previous low of day, so back inside of range, and then holding above it for right now. I mean, SPY did actually reject it on the close. We have data in 5 minutes as well. 9:45 PMI, and then we should get 10 a.m. data as well soon. Tickers don't look bad, but they're kind of at resistance here. At least for some, anyways. Meta might have a little bit more room up, 650. Microsoft did reject resistance there. Overnight high, previous high of day. Or is that previous low? Previous high. Apple hasn't really moved either. Guess Nvidia had a nice bounce though. 175 bounce. Trying to hold this here. Retested 800 psych. Found a little bit of buying. Yeah, this makes sense. So this is kind of resistance here. Yeah, I'm not really sure if we're gonna actually look and try to fill that gap. I mean, we could, as long as tickers hold up and continue to see some buying, but I mean, overall war news isn't really great, so data in 45 seconds. 9:45 PMI. Stuck in a range here. Well, SPY's actually doing a little bit better here. Had a nice buy up. Recaptured back above previous low of day. Here's our data candle as well. PMI. Might go for the gap fill here. If we pull above the highs, we'll probably go for the gap fill. 940. Alright, yeah, my planned sizing, I think, for today, I'm gonna do... kind of want to do half size or 2/3 size like last time and then just run 40-point stop. So I think I'll probably just do 40-point stop and then, at least for me, 2/3 position sizing. For you guys, I'd probably do half. So So yeah, I'm gonna run 10 contracts. 10 contracts with a 40-point stop. So slightly larger than what we're used to. So yeah, 160 ticks will be my stop here. Yeah, half should be good for prop firms, especially if it's trailing. Um, yeah, 40 might be too tight, but I really don't want to exceed 40, honestly. We could run 50, but 50 also is a lot. It is a lot. Anything higher than that would be at least too much risk for me, and then at that point, you're probably better off just going below half size, which I kind of don't really want to do. I think with 40 points, we'll probably just look for 1-to-1 R, most likely. Or maybe not. I mean, it's moving pretty good right now, so. Yeah, exactly. So 2/3 size. It's not half size like you guys, so that's kind of my reasoning for also running 40-point stop. I'm extending it a little bit, but it's not to the point where it's gonna be like super super bad if you know, we have like a over 3 day or whatever. It'll actually be slightly less than what we're used to getting um on a normal loss day. So if I go over 3, it's still gonna be basically like I'm trading normally, but we'll see how this stop placement is. We're most likely gonna need to take some type of like reversal entry, I think, or I don't know. I want to say retest, but I'm not really sure how deep retest can be as of right now. I don't want to catch momentum entries, I'll say. Only because one little pullback would be enough to stop us out, so I would like to probably get reversal entries here. Everything looks good for now, though. Just looks strong across the board. Keys pulled the highs, SPY pulled the highs. We're only about 40 points now from the gap fill. 940. Where's it? 945. 945, I think. Yeah, it's close enough. I mean, if we go up there, we'll probably get the gap fill. And I honestly want to say that might be my short area as well. Like, once we fill the gap, I'm kind of thinking I want to short there. Possibly. I kind of have this as resistance, though. 900. If we look at the hourly, we have like a lower high here on the hourly. Although I think it depends how we draw it, but no, you don't know. No, we could wick above here. Never mind. We could wick above, fill the gap, and then still close below overnight or below 900 here. Tickers should have room here as well, I think. At least some of them. Well, I mean, Microsoft is at resistance here. Meta's at resistance. Kind of hard for me to tell. selling it a little bit here. This kind of has like a 1 minute M setup. Yeah, looking at the hourly and 4 hour, I have this gray box actually that should extend a little bit further out. So yeah, this is technically resistance here that I have for us right around 900. Probably just wait for data, most likely. Wait till 10 and then let's see where we get in terms of price action from there. Still could hold here. 5 minute higher high, higher low right now where we're sitting at. And this also is kind of like the breakdown of that 1 minute M setup here. So 800 psych roughly. Below there, we'd look to see a breakdown to fill the imbalances off the opening candle, I'd say. Yeah. Otherwise, this could still hold. Trying to sell this a little bit here. It doesn't look bad actually for this to actually reject a bit down to previous low of day. Doesn't look bad for a retest there, 9 EMA and a VWAP retest. Looks quite good actually. Microsoft is actually pushing here. Kind of the stronger one of the bunch. Or at least the leader anyways. It's breaking out for highs here. Other tickers don't look terrible. I mean, they don't look weak at all, really. They're kind of just holding. Apple doesn't look great. I'll say that. Apple doesn't look great. Yeah, PA is kind of slowing down here, right? At least a little bit. I think we're just consolidating a bit. Setting up for another move. It's still a wide range though, even though this PA's kind of dropped. This range is from technically 800 to 900, so a 100-point range, technically. Tickers look good here. They're holding up. Seeing some more buying. I think we might go for the gap fill. 940 if we actually pull this high. Let's see how 10 a.m. data is first though. Data in 2 minutes. Not really sure if that'll move us at all though, to be honest. Oh no, we actually might move. It's ISM. Yeah, ISM manufacturing. We should move off of that. And then besides that, biggest catalyst for the week is going to be on Friday with NFP. Unless that gets delayed again for whatever reason, like last month. Yeah, NFP would be the catalyst of the week, I guess. And then obviously the war news that we just had, but kind of have a 1 minute H setup. Looks like we might actually break this down. Selling a bit. One minute head and shoulders here as well. Below 800, this looks good actually. I kind of like this lower. Although I can't really short it around this area. It's yeah, 1 minute head and shoulders is quite nice actually. Failed breakdown maybe? Tried to break structure there, but we did not. Breakout level is 800, so I guess still holding it. Getting some deep buying here though. Apple's popping up. Google's holding it. Previous low of day. Yeah, everything's kind of holding here. Nothing weak just yet. Getting some buying. Let's see if we take out the highs. If we take out the highs, I think we'll go for that gap fill. 40 points above. Apple's still popping up. It should have room up to overnight high here. Here's that 901, Carlos. I guess, yeah, 901. Looks good for breakout. We still have to clear that high though. We didn't close above the highs. We put in a new high, but didn't clear it on the close. We could technically still reject this. This is the higher end of the range, 900 psych. Ticker's still at resistance here, I guess, but I don't know. Wait, let me grab my laptop 1 second. Alright, here's the push. Looking quite decent, actually. Maybe we should have just longed it instead of waiting for this spot. We're gonna fill this gap here, I think, soon. Breaking out.
Our patience was valid though,
Yeah.
because of that range.
I think it was nice though, honestly. Like looking at the 1 minute break. Like when we saw this buying that kind of came in right here at like after that data candle. It's kind of was nice. Like 860 wasn't a bad long, I guess, but we'll see. We could still reject here. Not out of it yet. That zone I have on the hourly is, I'd say it's pretty valid and it works quite well. So we could fill the gap and then maybe get sold down. That's probably what I'd like to see, but Nvidia's pulling highs here. 180. It's kind of a leader now. AVGA looks good as well. Close above 900 there, right? Yeah, close above 900. Above previous high as well. This should be a break here. Although I'm not too convinced. No, tickers look kind of good. Apple's the only one kind of at resistance here. Although it might have a little bit more room up to overnight high. It didn't really quite tap it how I wanted it to, but looking for a wick above this gap fill here. And then on the 1 minute structure, you see we have a higher high. That higher high point actually lines up right around the gap fill area. So yeah, we should get gap fill, and then that's technically going to be the higher high point on this 1 minute structure. And if we reject that, that's probably where I'd like to actually short off of the gap fill there. I'm worried that we might just like run straight through this though. Although if we could run 40-point stop, that should give us enough room to actually hopefully be okay. But I mean, ticker's still look good for right now, so I kind of don't want to do anything just yet. Kind of want to see how that develops first, and then maybe look short. Yeah, 945 is the gap fill, so you should be able to get that. Come on. Should be able to pull it here. And There it is. Gap is filled. Gap is filled there. So I'm hoping to see. I don't want to see price like squeeze through this level here. I would like us to see a stall after filling the gap, and then I don't know, get like a slight draw above this gap fill, and then short, I guess. But yeah, it looks like we are still getting some buying here based on tickers. It's actually 30 points already. 35 points. It's quite nice, actually. Apple at resistance now. Overnight high, and then I feel like I still want to wait with sub tickers here. Although they're kind of walking into resistance here. Microsoft up to 400 psych here soon. It's at 399. Meta kind of looks good though. Looks like we want to put one more leg higher here on Qs. Maybe we should wait for overnight high. It's also another idea I'm thinking of. Rejecting it here a little bit. Might have missed our entry already. Wow, I actually should have taken it. Taken it directly off the level there. It's like I'm still seeing some buying here though. Not really sure if I'm fully convinced of this little dip that we got. Tickers are rejecting here a little bit now. This looks better. Can we find ourselves an entry now? Let's see. I guess it did kind of give us an entry there, right at like 920. That actually doesn't look terrible. Now looking back at it. Might have missed this move though. Let's see if this gets bought or not though. We're still trying to. Looks like we are still trying to. Tickers are still holding up here as well. Kind of looks good for a break higher still. 1 minute structure got bought there. Tickers don't really look weak. Looking good for higher.
I'm not even nothing comfortable with shorts after that buyout.
Nah, kind of looks quite strong still. Just looking at tickers here as well. Nvidia still looks good. It's not really showing any signs of weakness just yet, but I mean, 1 minute we have a lower high on the one, and I'm kind of paying attention to right now.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute lower high there, so we're still technically holding and rejecting that, but guess I'm still waiting for tickers. I mean, that still could have been a short entry opportunity there. This is pretty major resistance though, I'll say that. I got bought and sold again, that trend line on the 1 minute. Looks like we're gonna take out a new low here. Maybe. Really can't tell. What's throwing me off is this like structure on the 5 minute that we're still kind of trending here. We could still get bought, but I do like this a little bit lower here. And also tickers here as well. Like tickers are still throwing me off a bit. Not really seeing any like major selling or like really weak structure, at least for me. The only concern for me is that this is technically support here on a 5 minute high or low. So I'm wondering if this could actually still get bought up. Which I'm actually thinking, possibly considering to long actually. Really can't tell though. Might have room to view up here on SPY. And that short idea was actually perfect. Hesitating too much though. I think the volatility is throwing me off here a bit. Yeah, 945 was the gap fill. 24,945 was gap fill. Tapped into it perfectly. Getting some more selling here. I do want SPY to tap into view up here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Maybe as a possible long, but it could be a little bit risky here as well. Okay, I'm in long. I'm in long at 80.75. Stop at 40, that new low. .40 stop. So my stop is gonna be, yeah, stops at 40. This kind of looks good still, I think, for upside. I think we could have one more leg higher. So that's why I'm in long right now, but we're already kind of 30 points. I think tickers still look decent here. I think I almost want another retest at that the gap fill. 930 is a decent target as well though. Or 920. 920 TP1 and then TP2 is gonna be a new high of day. If we look at the 1 minute trend line here, we actually broke structure. That's technically a breakout entry there. So we took. We want to see this pull. Here we go. Here we go. We should look to trim here, guys. Yeah, trimming is valid with 2 cons. You'll trim just one. 50% break even trade, yeah.
I'm all out.
Nice.
I got in at 79.50. Out at 17.75.
Nice, nice, nice. I didn't
Pre MNQ.
It's alright. Still decent.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm also 3 MNQ.
Yeah, it's TP1 right here. 920 there. I didn't get my trim off, I'll say that. It wasn't quite 40 points for me. I want to get at least 1 R with this. Since we are increase in our stop. But no, that's pretty nice. Nice little pop there. Sure go. I think I'll be able to get it here. A little bit more. Come on. Tickers look good across the board. Yep, there we go. Got my trim off. Here we go. You can do whatever you want with this. I have break even on, guys. Break even stops on. Let's see if we get a little bit more. Squeeze this out a little bit up to the 50s, and then I'll be happy with that. Yep. There we go. I scaled most. It's gonna be my exit here, I think. Yeah, I have 2 left. See if I get some more. There we go, beautiful. My stop's in profit at 900 on these last 2. It's not bad to take full exit here, honestly. I kind of should. I should take full exit here. There we go. Yeah, that's my exit there. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm fully out. Fully out at 40. Fully out, fully
What
out.
was your sizing for today?
2/3 size.
Okay.
So a little over half. But I think it's valid to do half size with prop firms.
Yeah.
I am all out of that. Fully out. Almost 60 points. I'll take it. Everybody out? Anybody still in? PK's probably still in, but I'm happy with that. Honestly, we kind of took a breakout entry there, but I kind of liked it. Kind of liked it. I was going to take a little bit lower, but I wanted to see some actual buying come in first before taking it. But I think this actually kind of looks good for a new high of day. Yeah, Nvidia looks good. Microsoft looks good. Google looks good. Apple kind of rejected here, but this is technically resistance. We could reject here still. That's why I took full. So, I mean, I'll take it though. Pretty happy with that. So smaller size overall. But I mean, still made out pretty nicely in profits today. So yeah. Let's any questions with that setup there? It kind of worked out how I wanted to. Obviously we missed a short. Missed a short at the gap fill. That actually would have been perfect. But I was expecting a slight draw. That's why I didn't short immediately at the gap fill at 9:45. I wanted a slight draw into like the 50s or 60s and then short there. But yeah, we kind of just like hit the gap fill and then it just, sold immediately, I guess. But yeah, that would have definitely delivered a lot more points for sure, but yeah. That's how it is. That's how it is though. Yeah, the structure on the 5 minute here, we sold down a bit. Like I said, I was still a bit worried about this 5 minute higher low structure, right? We were kind of still holding that in terms of QQQ. And then I didn't really see any weakness across tickers there. Like nothing really looked weak in my opinion. So yeah, looking at a SPY was able to retest VWAP, which is kind of what I was looking for, and then that's when we ended up going long. So we ended up longing after this candle kind of got bought up here on the 1 minute. So it got bought, or it tried to sell down, it got bought, and then that's when I took my long basically. Right at 80. Yeah, 880 there. Took the long right at the breakout. So yeah, if we were to get stopped, it would have been fast, I think. I mean, stop placement was actually pretty good based on the 1 minute structure because it was at a new low below that wick. So yeah, if we did get tagged out, I think it would have been valid and it would have made sense. So yeah, that was that in terms of the 1 minute structure. And then yeah, 5 minute structure was still technically holding this trend line depending on how you draw it. 5 minute higher low. So closed at the trend line. We got a slight wick below, and then we ended up longing basically at the lower end of the trend line up to near the highs. Right. And that was basically it. And yeah, we did pull the new highs. New high of day got tagged. That would be your final take profit, at least for me. Because this is still technically major resistance here, so. Yeah, so that's that. That's that. Any questions besides that? I think I kind of explained that decently well. Decently well.
You think you'll post it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll post it.
Uh-huh.
We didn't
Alright,
even
Alex.
we didn't even come down. We just, kept popping right after we bought it,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, basically no drawdown there. Yeah, at least for me
Yeah.
anyways. I don't think so. Maybe like
No.
1 or 2 points. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone should have gotten at least basically the same exact entry. Or around the same entry, I think. So,
And the volatility was fine too, right?
yeah, it
On
wasn't that
that.
bad. Yeah, like looking at the
Yeah.
stop placement was like, it made sense a lot, right? It didn't look too tiny. Like the 40 points was like perfect, I think. Right at the new lows based on the 1 minute structure then. Yeah, it was good. I think it was fine. I think it was fine. Obviously the opening candle after like the war news was a little bit scary, but honestly price action kind of slowed down a little bit. Not like fully slowed down. Like you could definitely get like easily like 50 points today, but I think yeah, with increasing our stop it made sense. We could have even honestly gotten away with 30 points, but yeah, right at 50. Nah, I probably would prefer it as new low actually, no. I think 40 points was perfect. It was the perfect stop. Cool. All right. That's it for me today. Yeah, it's already almost 11 o'clock. Wow.